Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general messages for the beginning of April. So I'm going to be breaking it into career/money. You know how I do my readings. Not everybody's working, so the financial section will cover lawsuits, career, anything like that, any way in which money can come by you. And then I'm going to separate it with relationship. I'm going to timestamp the relationship section in the description box below, so you don't have to stick around for both sections if you're not interested in both, for sure. So Taurus, very introspective week, I have to tell you. Like the 3rd into the 4th, depending on where you live, Mercury's going into Aries. It's happening in your 12th house. And the sun's going to be in there. Oop, who wanted to pop out? 5 of Wands popping out. Okay, let's keep that there. So there's some conflict going on, some sort of battle of the wills, but the 12th house, you're going to have the sun, you're going to have Venus, you're going to have Chiron, you're going to have Mercury and Aries. So there's a lot of focus on the 12th house, the subconscious, the hidden. There's a lot of focus on really kind of assessing and reevaluating, because the 12th house is also the house of like charity and where we can potentially feel victimized. It's also the house of self-undoing. So it's where our addictions hang out, where we may get in our own way. But the 12th house also, all of the houses mean many things at one time. It's also the house of dreams, right? And it's what it is that we dream about, what it is that we really ultimately want for ourselves. It's very spiritual energy as well, very connected to the other side. So you're going to have the only thing I see is there's going to be this square, right, between these energies that I'm talking about and your 3rd and 9th house, which means like the 3rd house is all about communication. It's Gemini, it's siblings, it's extended family, and squares just mean attention. Something needs to be addressed there. The 12th house has to do with your belief system, your religion, your personal philosophy, but it can also has to do with that 3rd house, 9th house axis, also has to do with negotiations and signing things on the dotted line. So that 12th house, though, is a hidden energy, right? So we got the Tower to start out here. So this hidden energy, it's like you're feeling, right, in the subconscious, that very challenged in your ability to communicate as effectively as you would like to. Having to do with any of these energies. Maybe there's something going on with your siblings or your even in-laws. In-laws are 9th house, so there could be some sort of tension there. Or there could be some tension having to do with negotiations, having to do with advertising, marketing, again, negotiating some sort of contract, some sort of lease, anything like that. That would fall within this axis as well. So any sort of communication. But the good thing that I like, we have a sextile between the 12th house, right, this house of hidden, and the 2nd house of money and things that matter to you, as well as your career house. So what a sextile is, very positive energy flow. Sextiles and trines, we like these. We like these a lot. So you have this happening with your 4th and 8th house. There's a trine happening, and there's a sextile happening between your 2nd and 10th house. So this is about the money axis, and also having to do with your house of home, and as well as the 8th house, which has to do with a partner's money, right? Money that your partner, or money that you're getting from some sort of partnership, or from some sort of inheritance, insurance payout, settling of some sort of legal situation, settling up of a contract or something like that, right? So I like that we have the sextile energy and this trine energy there. That you're going to be able to take advantage of it, but I feel like you're going to be very sort of challenged in this ability to communicate effectively what it is right now. So lots of thinking going on, lots of thinking for sure. Very, very pensive week for you guys. So we have the 6 of Cups energy coming into this. So the 6 of Cups is always about something from the past, right? And it's something feeling, you might be just reconnecting with old workmates, calling up an old either colleague or boss, going back to something that you started at one point, maybe going back to school, finishing up that degree, picking up that book again that you started writing to finish it, whatever it is, some sort of project from the past coming back, but it going much better this time around. Now, because you're having all of these energies in your 12th house, you may be in the space of either thinking of it or working on it in private, because remember the 12th house, everything I'm talking about is the house of the hidden. So the fact that you have Venus and Chiron and the sun in there is a lot of focus with Mercury and Aries. There's a lot of thinking and there's a lot of planning that's going on very internally right now, Taurus. A lot of behind the scenes stuff is going on right now. So we have the Tower working with the Nine of Wands. So the Tower is like destruction and enlightenment at the same time, a necessary surrender. And what does this mean? In reality, is recognizing what's working and what's not working, and recognizing that whatever's not working simply can't continue the way it is. And it's this restructuring. So this restructuring of something either within your business, restructuring of your money, there's this restructuring, or it could even possibly be a complete change in your circumstances. Some of you may be in a situation where you're quitting your job, or you're getting fired, or you're realizing just absolute epiphany that you cannot continue doing what it is that you're doing anymore. And that's going to push you, though, to make a decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pushing you because you're very focused. Because of this sextile, this first house sextiling your money house and your career, you're really focused on making some shifts in your life that's going to actually bring you the money and the sense of satisfaction. This is very important to you right now. Sense of satisfaction in whatever it is that you're doing. So, it's a shifting of the path, because whatever it is that you're doing, you cannot continue doing it. So it doesn't mean that you're quitting your job, you're leaving your job, that lawsuit's not going to work. It doesn't mean that at all, right? It just means a shift in focus. Now, for some of you, the Tower energy could be the ending of something, meaning all of a sudden maybe a lawsuit gets dropped that's being held against you, or something quickly sort of comes to a head and a culmination, and things end up rectifying themselves really quickly. But we have this working with the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is you're in a strong position. This does indicate you fighting very long and hard in something, which has really made you tired. You're sort of at the point where it's like, I don't know if I could do this anymore, because I'm not feeling like it's going to actually bring me where I want to go. But you're going to have the perseverance to see it through while you make these adjustments. This feeling of what the hell am I doing after all, right, is temporary. You want to, because you're feeling defensive. You're feeling defensive of yourself. You're feeling defensive of what you bring to the table. You're feeling defensive of your work ethic. Or for some of you, you may be just feeling defensive about what's right regarding some sort of legal situation. What's right, what's wrong. You're very aware of that right now. You want to make sure, though, that you don't get pulled into any kind of negative mindset. But there's got to be, there's some sort, hang in there, right? Hang in there. There is this shift that's happening, but don't throw in the towel just yet. There is shifting that's going on, very necessary, though. There's no question. Now, the Four of Cups is the crowning energy. This means a couple of things. Some of you can just simply be bored with your job, feeling very, very restless. Others of you, it's not that you're feeling bored or restless, but you're feeling very disillusioned, right? Where you really thought something was going to be a whole lot different, at the end of the day, and it ended up not being that at all. And you're like, I can't do this anymore because of A, B, and C, and being really clear about that. But at the same time, what's necessary here is for you to look at, and I know this is going to get a little deep, but this is what I'm getting right now. I feel like I'm getting a very deep message because of what's going on in your 12th house. It is the deepest house. You have to really look at yourself right now, Taurus, right? I'm getting very strongly that you have to look at where do you maybe feel like you're not good enough? Where do you feel like you may get in your own way? Where do you feel like energetically other people end up getting in your way when it comes to pushing you forward on a path that you felt like, at least at one point, that you were meant to be on? Where's the fissure? Where's the hole? Where's the crack, right? That, if you can do that, that's going to be so beneficial for you right now. This is not about you blaming yourself for anything, or you blaming anybody. It's about being very realistic about the situation. Maybe it's because of COVID. Maybe it's because the industry that you're in has changed. Maybe it's because there are extenuating circumstances regarding that lawsuit. Whatever the case is, there could be things, and it's just about being very realistic and very honest. We have the foundation energy, Temperance. So Temperance is a good energy. This is about cooperation. It is. Now, you might be dealing with challenging personalities at work. that could be either too aggressive or too sensitive. Sometimes when people are too sensitive, it's challenging to work with that energy as well. But patience and cooperation is definitely going to go a long way here. Pay attention to your incoming and your outgoing finances right now, though. This does tell me that. Just pay attention to that. But it might not even be people. It could even be like the industry that you're in is in a very sensitive space right now. There could be a lot of change and transition within the industry that you're in right now. So when we're talking temperance, it's like getting very honest with yourself. What do you need? And what is necessary in order to work in the industry that you want to be in? Or what is necessary for you to get what you need, and for the person who maybe you're dealing with in a lawsuit or some sort of negotiation, what do they need? Well, what does everybody need? There has to be some sort of compromise going on here, okay? Compromise, but with empathy, okay? Lots of empathy. So we have you right now as the Seven of Swords. Oh boy, okay, listen. Some of you may be like, all right, I'm doing what I need to do right now for the moment, but I have no intention of staying in this as it is right now. So a lot of you, but you're not talking. You're not telling anybody. This is a shh, kind of don't tell anybody. Now, this could be understood as being a dishonest and immoral and kind of a running way, kind of overstepping boundaries kind of energy. But it's also an energy of playing somebody at their own game, playing a situation at its own game, doing what you need to do to get through a situation. But because we have all this 12th house energy here, Taurus, I feel like, you're doing what you need to do on your day-to-day. You're getting up, you're doing what you need to do. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of thinking going on. There's no question. And the thing is, like, what is it that you're going to do? You're just maybe not 100% sure yet. We got the Lover's energy here, which is always about choices. So this is an external energy that's impacting you. So you're in this space where you're recognizing choices, right? And one option that you're thinking about might seem easier, but you have to look a little closer to make sure that it's the best thing for you in the long run. You don't want to make it all about money. You have to be really, really happy. I'm getting that very strong for Taurus energies right now. Yeah, it has to align with your belief system. You want to feel really good, especially because you're Taurus. You're the landlord of the second house. Second house is the house of things that we value. And so a lot of people just say, oh, the second house, Taurus, that's all about money. It's not only about money. It's everything that matters to you, including your sense of self and your self-respect. It's the clothes on your back. It's the food you put in your mouth. It's the roof over your head. It's everything that matters to you in your life. And right, I mean, that is you. That is you right now. So you're going to be very focused, though, on this idea of two paths. And you're going to be very tuned into, I can't make it about money only. Of course, you need money, of course, right? But you're not going to want to make it only about that. But you're having a hard time seeing this. And I understand, because you're in that 12th house energy, it is difficult. Where, Neptune is hanging out in your 11th house right now, Taurus. And Neptune is like trying to look at reality through a very dirty window, like a thick fog, right? And it's Neptune in Pisces of all signs. Neptune rules Pisces in your 11th house of goals and gains and where it is that you see yourself going. So you may not be 100% sure of where you're going. You just know that you don't want to stay where you're at right now, if that makes sense, right? And the fact that Uranus is in Taurus right now, for you guys in your first house of self, big changes, right? Uranus is that revolutionary energy, and it's very forward thinking. A lot of you might even be thinking about getting, expanding whatever it is that you're doing, but whatever it is has something to do with technology as well. I am feeling for a lot of you. Only because it's happening in your first house of self, and Uranus is the sign that rules technology. It also rules science, though, so you might be doing something having to do with that as well. But so the star energy, though, has to do with luck, fortune. This is your challenge, though. Okay, It's this energy of, work that you're involved in, or what you're doing begins to pay off, because you're considering like this long-term energy, right? This indicates like, fame, awards, just kind of getting ahead. But this is your challenge right now. Now, you may just be having a hard time crystallizing this vision for yourself. Again, going back to the fact that you have Neptune in the 11th house. So I'm not too concerned about this. This seems like a very internal energy, but you just want to be careful to not manifest anything negative for yourself. Like, don't have... try to stop yourself, literally pivot your thoughts. If you feel like you're saying anything negative whatsoever about your future, it's okay to be confused. It's okay to not have all the answers for this first week in April. That's okay. But as long as you feel like energetically you're pushing yourself forward, that's all you need to do. Don't say, I'm never going to, that will never happen for me, because try to really skirt those very negative, low vibrational phrases. Don't even allow yourself to think. It's of course, I have everything that I need, Page of Swords in the near future. So we like pages because page does indicate like a new cycle. So very useful information coming in, getting help from people around you to further your, whatever it is that you're feeling very ambitious about, whatever it is, that career, that new path, furthering your path in whatever it is that you're doing now, that lawsuit, that contract, whatever it is. This can indicate a contract coming your way it could be regarding a job or regarding some sort of project, really good. Any kind of agreement, right? But you focusing a lot on your intellect right now, less on the emotions, right? Because swords it's the mind, right? Think the mind, right? It's the personification here of all of these energies, right, of the air energies, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So you want to really be in the mental for this. And then we have the Chariot. And the Chariot energy is very positive in that it's about moving away. Quick changes, progression in business, some sort of business situation, pushing something forward, bringing something to fruition. But whatever it is, it's going to be exciting. It's going to bring very positive news as far as money, but it's work that you do, right? It's very, again, your kind of energy, very second house energy. Work, money coming in from work that you do. So you really are owed this money. Like, this is money that you've definitely worked hard for. That's what I'm seeing here. Let me pull a couple of oracles, and then we'll go into relationship. But we do have this Five of Wands energy that popped out, and let's not forget this. This Five of Wands is about competition. You may be feeling very competitive in the work environment, competitive regarding some sort of job. But this could also indicate, if you're dealing with a lawsuit or any sort of negotiation, that there being, excuse me, at least a temporary lack of agreement, people with very strong opinions, fighting to be heard, that kind of energy. What do you need to release? Waning moon. Yeah, something definitely does need to be released here. I think we sort of got that idea. And you're going to be doing a lot of this idea of releasing, having to do with the 12th house. And let's not forget, Taurus, you have that Saturn and Jupiter and Aquarius in the 10th house. So there's going to be a lot of focus on change having to do with your career. I've been talking about this, for, I feel like forever, but at least the past couple of months. So something needs to be released in order for something to be changed. In other words, I don't feel like a lot of you are going to be, it's necessarily going to be like an adding to the repertoire of whatever it is that you're in, but it's going to be more of an actual transition into something different, like doing something different coming in. Co-create. Fabulous. This is either joining up forces with somebody to learn something new, to develop a new skill set, to start a new business with somebody, to hire a new lawyer, to work together with your lawyer to get that job done. Excellent energy for anything having to do with business, right? So really being honest with yourself, like where might you be getting in your own way, right? Super honest. And then figuring out a way to like co-create what it is that you want to move on. What co-create means many, many things. It's utilizing another energy to help you work together. So that could be you and a teacher, or you and some sort of external energy that's going to help push you forward, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. Makes sense to me. But That's a lot. All right, good. I like those energies. Let's get into relationship. Let's see, what are we going to use? I guess we'll use the Chakra Tarot. Chakra Tarot. So there's this trine between, as I'm talking about, right, we have Mercury in Aries, right, the Sun, Venus, Chiron. It's going to be trining your 4th house. So for those of you who are living together, those of you who are just living with somebody, and then also with the 8th house, which has to do with like your partner's money and your money. 8th house is also about intimacy. It's 8th house is a big house, right? On the one hand, it is a money house, right? So it has to do with money that comes to you via an avenue that's not by your making, right? So it could be your partner's money, and how does your partner's money meld with your money? Insurance payout, lawsuit settlement, anything like that, right? So this is what we're talking about here. So we have this nice, trine energy going on, but it's also intimacy. It's also, deep communication, connecting, again, how we show up as a we in relationship. And with the trine, there's going to be an ease to it. Although, Mercury and Aries in that 12th house, your communication, again, might feel you might not feel like it's the best. You may not feel like very understood by the people around you right now. That could be rather frustrating if you're feeling that, for sure. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords coming into this energy. So, Knight of Swords is very unpredictable energy, coming in. Expecting the unexpected, sudden truths coming out, underlying conflicts being exposed, and the thing is, like, whatever comes out, whatever this this thing that you weren't really expecting, it could be a relief or very confusing depending on what your situation is. But certainly wait for things to settle before you make a move. Does seem like a wait and see would probably be pretty good. Now, you may be dealing with an energy, Taurus, or you may be an energy that's very sort of very driven, forthright, ready to fight for what, either you believe in or they feel like they're fighting for what they believe in. But this is the kind of energy that can get bored very easily and just move on to the next thing, create drama, come in, create like a storm, and then leave, and taking no responsibility for the reconciliation or an apology or anything like that. So that certainly could have been something that's gone on, one of those two situations. Either a truth coming out or you dealing with an energy that's like this. So we have the King of Cups. And the reason I always say that, for those of you who are learning tarot, when we're dealing with the court cards, so that would be Page, Knight, King, Queen, Princess in some decks, it could always be a person or an influence, okay? So you always want to look at both of that interpretation. So we have the King of Cups energy here. So as an influence, this is an indication that a need exists to settle a conflict, either within yourself or with another person, right? But you may feel very unclear with how to handle it. And because it's Cups energy, the answer to that is always follow your heart, right? Now, some of you may be dealing with a person like this who's super charismatic, very sociable, very sensitive to the needs of people around them, very warm, unafraid of intimacy. You may be dealing with this right now. So you may be this may be you. This may be you, like super just open. You're just very King of Cups energy. And then we have the Ten of Swords. This is crossing the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is there's a history here, This is an ending, complete and painful ending here. The finality and the release is something, ends up releasing you from a frustration and a stress, even if it's painful. It's like the end of a challenging time. It's challenging. So I see this very definitive desire to end a challenging period in your life. There's no question. Like, that's what this means to me. Now, whether this means that you want to get past the challenging time period with the relationship that you're currently in, that could be it. Others of you are realizing that you're all about love now. You dealt with a negative energy in the past, and you're just all about moving past that, right? So we do have the Queen of Wands here. This is all about you stepping into your power as the crowning energy. So as an influence, this is ideas popping right now. You having the strength to make things happen for yourself. All of your relationships being energized. You're just very ready to just be out there and have what it is that you see in your mind's eye for yourself. You're all going to have a different interpretation of what you want in a relationship, but it's being able to bring that forward. Now, if this is a person that you're dealing with, this is somebody who is a very ideas-focused person, very communicative, very sociable, very self-aware, focused on the right things in relationship. If you're meeting somebody like this, or this could be you. Either way, it's very, like, a very nice, positive energy. And then we look at this. We have this working with the King of Wands as the foundation right now. This is about being a free spirit, right? So as an influence, this is like the right time to just express what it is that you want and go for it. You are perfect the way you are, Taurus, exactly the way you are. You don't want to let the idea of whatever it is, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not handsome enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not fill in the blank enough, I don't have enough money, I'm not educated enough, blah, 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 blah. Anything like that, no. So nothing like that, but in the same way, you also don't want to allow the idea of perfectionism to block you from being able to get into either a relationship or stay in a relationship, because you're very hyper-focused on things being perfect, not allowing any wiggle room for the human condition. You want to be careful of that, okay? I'm not saying you are, but those are the different interpretations, right? And some of you may be dealing with the King of Wands energy, somebody who's very wise, they have very high standards, very open, very self-aware. They don't judge people. They don't care where you're from, all of that. They just love listening to people's stories. Just like a very sort of free, beautiful spirit. So if you're single and you're meeting this like Queen of Wands, King of Wands energy, congratulations, because that is really awesome. Some of you may be just in that space where you're just very, very, you're sort of formulating this new sense of self, all right? And you are really recognizing what it is that you want to move forward. And others of you, you're in a relationship and you're recognizing how to sort of level up the relationship. But in the same way, you're realizing where these things may not be happening in the way that, up to this point anyway, with this Ten of Swords energy, if you're in a relationship, like, there's got to be that, like, cutting off of an end of an era. And unfortunately, energy doesn't really work like that, right? It doesn't work like that. Line of delineation is never so razor sharp. A lot of times we're not robots. We can't just say, oh, what happened in that last challenging era is done, so we can never look back there. That would be great, but it's illogical and unfair to yourself to think that, to think that you don't have to go through the process of allowing yourself and the person that you're dealing with to work through whatever past negative occurrences happen in the relationship. So we have the Nine of Coins energy here, which is you right now, very focused on yourself. I really do feel like a lot of you are involved in some sort of independent endeavors. Really, some of you may have been doing some really solid, beautiful work on yourself, and you're finally meeting a healthy connection after doing that solid work on yourself, right? Because 9 is the number of productivity. So it's really this energy where there's this integration of body, mind, and spirit. So really fabulous for those of you who've been single. Really great. And now for those of you who haven't been, what I like about this, if you're in a relationship, you're getting very, 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 very in touch with what it is that you need in a relationship in order to be happy. And it may look very different than what you thought you needed 6 months ago, which is kind of interesting. So we have an external energy to you that's impacting you, 4 of Wands. This is great energy. This is freedom, right? This is creativity. Very celebratory vibe. This is an energy of appreciation. So if you feel like somebody is appreciating you a great deal right now, Taurus, in one way or another. Now, for those of you, this is another indicator. For those of you who are single, this does indicate a new partner coming in and opening up their heart and expressing their love and affection. This could be somebody brand new. If you're getting back with somebody from the past, them doing that. We call this the honeymoon card. This is really great for a strong foundation. Excellent energy for stepping into that new phase of the relationship after the Ten of Swords energy. Excellent if you're meeting somebody brand new. So yeah, I mean, I'm liking this for you. We have the challenge here, though, is the Queen of Cups. All right, listen, communication, right? Remember I mentioned that, Taurus? The communication is going to be a little trippy for you. This is the Queen. The Queen of Cups is a Gemini and Cancer energy in astrology, right? So the Gemini energy, which is third house, remember I mentioned the square between the 12th house and the third house? That's what this is, right? So this is your challenge. You're going to be having a hard time expressing yourself, being understood the way that you want to be understood. You might feel like in your mind things are super clear, but when you go to communicate it, it's not coming out, or it's not translating the way that you would really like it to. And so, that's just something that could be very frustrating. And that's not only because you have Mercury and Aries in the 12th, that's also because Venus is in there and the Sun is in there, right? Chiron is all about healing. So because it's in that house of the hidden and house of charity, of where we can become a victim of circumstance, this could be a challenge for you, where you just feel like, again, not to be repetitive, but you know what you want to say, and you could be saying it in a completely articulate way, but it's not being received in the way that you would like it to be. And it may have nothing to do with you and everything to do with them, in as far as the translation. Or there could just be where you feel like, because this happens a lot with 12th house energy, you feel like you are expressing more than you are, but in reality, a lot of what you are expressing is just being felt in your emotional space. So it's kind of an interesting energy. We have the Tower in the near future. So, I mean, yeah, here we go. Destruction and enlightenment. Some sort of necessary surrender's got to go on here. Like, the way past patterns of relating need to be released. The way you guys communicated, or the way the relationship was structured, or the way you've been in relationship. Let's say you're meeting somebody new. The Tower is a lot of history here, right? This is a Mars energy. There's history here. So if this is a new energy that you're meeting, this is not, the Tower is probably going to be more internal for you, where you're going to be realizing like, wow, all right, you know what? If I want to make a relationship work in the way that I really see it in my mind's eye right now, I'm going to need to change the way that I am in the relationship, and taking ownership in that way, not blaming yourself for anything, but just recognizing that, okay, if I want something to be different, I have to be different in the relationship. Because if I keep doing what I did, I'm going to keep getting what I got, right? So there's got to be some sort of change. Not that your energy is going to, that you have the strength to actually fix the entire relationship. That's ridiculous, because it takes two people. But the fact that there's going to be recognition that the way of relating needs to change. Now, this may not even be you, Taurus, right? You know, with these relationship energies, everything could be vice versa. You could be dealing with an energy who's like, whoa, wait a minute. I maybe we both need to change. Maybe everybody needs to change, or maybe they just need to change the perspective through which they view the relationship. Everything has to kind of be taken down to be rebuilt, right? Some of you may just be doing this by yourself, right? So that you can have the success in a new relationship. Others of you may be doing this within a relationship. I'm not a big believer that the Tower means the end of every relationship. It can be that, for sure, but that's kind of silly, especially when we're doing a general reading like this. But there's definitely an end to a way of relating. Now, what are you going to do with that? If you're dealing with somebody who's like-minded to you, anything can be rebuilt if both people are equally willing. Anything can. But what is Mars? Mars is all about, Mars is all about popping up these red flags, along the path of the relationship. The ones that we choose to not see, or the ones that we choose to not acknowledge. When we know in our gut that something's off, something's not right, Mars doesn't want us to get away with that anymore, because he knows that in order for us to end up where we're meant to be on our path, if that energy is not healthy for us the way it is, he's going to come in and take it away, because for whatever reason we weren't strong enough to call out those red flags up to this point. So he comes in and does what he has to do. So sometimes it means an ending of a relationship, but sometimes it means this pivotal crossroads where there's this recognition that things need to change if things are going to be successful moving forward. But I see you still having fire in your belly for it, and you being in a strong position. I feel like those of you who are single, you put a lot of energy in your life into relationships, and you're tired, but you still have the energy to persevere, right? And you feeling this temporary sense of maybe feeling defensive about yourself or why you've done what you've done, it's temporary. Don't let yourself get sucked into like a dark hole of negativity, any sort of negative mindset. Don't do that. If you don't do that, you will be met with success, okay? It's all about balance, right? Remember what comes after the 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. Now, for those of you who are in a long-term relationship, I don't have to tell you that you're probably very tired. That you've been through a lot in this particular connection. Maybe there's been a lot of on again, off again. The ebb and flows maybe were a little too close together and you're tired, right? You don't want to get into this negative mindset. You might be feeling like, okay, I have fire in my belly left for this person, but I really am feeling like a little defensive right now. You know, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. So I'm definitely feeling that. You're not ready to throw in the towel yet, though. You're not. You want to persevere with the situation. Change in the wind. Beautiful. This is what we need with the Tower. Excellent. All right. So that's what I have for your spread. Let's see what's going on with them. Let's pull a quick read for them. Okay, so 9 of Coins coming into this. So you might be dealing with an energy Taurus that's very concerned about, you know, their finances, establishing themselves in their career, getting some sort of project off the ground that they're looking to get into, some sort of independent endeavor like that. Or you might be just dealing with somebody who's been doing a lot of really good work on themselves and they're just ready to meet a really solid, healthy connection. So awesome for those of you who are meeting this person new. So we have the 10 of Wands in reverse. So the 10 of Wands in reverse is taking a break, just lightening up. It's a lighter energy, right? It's a lighter. 10 of Wands in the upright is a very, it's the card of overwhelm. But in reverse, it's taking a break, you know, finally saying no to something and feeling a sense of freedom, a sense of lightening up. And then we have the Page of Swords. So they may have gone through something, or you guys may have gone through something together with this person, for those of you in relationship where you're in the space of just putting the past in the past and just trying. I feel like they just want to really like lighten up. I mean, it's just the best way to say it. So we have the Page of Swords here. And so this can be... there's some sort of information is coming to the forefront that needs discussing, right? It definitely needs discussing. Page is always about this new chapter. Swords is about truth, reality, and just looking at the situation for what it is. Remember, it's a very mental energy. Really just what needs to be done here. Now we have the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is the crowning energy. So again, 10 of Wands is the card of overwhelm. So they're feeling overwhelmed about something, you know, with maybe responsibilities, overload of demands, or for many of you, if you've been in a long-term relationship, you may be neglecting the relationship right now because of other things going on in life. And, you know, there just could be a lot of busyness, whatever is going on, whether it has to do with... they're feeling this, right? So whether it has to do with their job, some sort of personal issues going on, maybe with their children, maybe with their family, or something going on, or it could just be about the relationship in general, but there is this energy of overwhelm, or this level of sort of ignoring the situation. And that's one of these times where it's like, this just means the relationship maybe needs a little bit more attention, or at least they're feeling that way. We have the Death card as the foundation energy. So Death is the Scorpio energy, 8th house. It's ruled by Pluto. It's about endings and beginnings. And so something either is ending or something needs to end at least temporarily if it's going to find its feet again at a future date. Because the way it's been up to this point needs to end because it wasn't healthy. So, you know, yeah, I mean, For some of you, your living situation may end up changing because you realize that where you've been living no longer meets your overall needs of, your family or your relationship. If you guys are living together, you guys realizing that, could be that as well. I try to give different messages here. Now we have the Justice energy. This is where they're right now. So they're really very focused on making sure that their emotional needs are being met. It's about balance and fairness are very important to them to look at right now. Because remember, the Justice energy is Libra, rules the 7th house of partnerships, and it's ruled by Venus, and Venus is all about really wanting us to feel very good in a situation, right? Venus is your ruler, but also rules Libra, and how good do they feel in this situation, right? Now this could also indicate a truth coming out, and the recognition that there's some balance that's necessary here, for there to be a win-win situation having to do with some sort of circumstance that's going on in your relationship. So we have the Queen of Wands here. So the Queen of Wands is, remember, wands are will, right? Stepping into the power. This is an external energy that's impacting you. So this person that you're dealing with, they may be going through something where Pisces and Aries, they may be doing something new as far as work goes, trying to build themselves up in the area of work, something like that. Stepping into their power, though. So they might be doing something very focused on moving their life forward in a way, though, that's going to end up impacting the relationship. But while they do that, I see you saying like, okay, but where does the relationship fit in all of this? So we have their challenge right now is the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is a very positive energy, but when it's in the challenge, this could indicate frustrations and delays, and feeling this delay and being able to bring to fruition whatever they want in the relationship. And I think this is interesting because in the near future, you got the Tower and they got the World. Wow. I mean, that's real. Those are two very powerful major arcanas, but I could tell you that they just see happiness and fulfillment and loving energies between the two of you. I mean, the numerology link here is the Empress, which is all about growth and being able to move things forward. Now we have as a final outcome energy, we do have the 3 of Swords, and the 3 of Swords is a heartbreak energy. But it doesn't only mean that. Taurus, you may be dealing with somebody, your partner, for some reason or another, may be dealing with depression right now because of something in their life, or it could be the heartbreak or the pain of a truth coming out, feeling betrayed. Now this could be with you or another area of their life that you're helping them go through. But they're in this space of like the clouds of doubt are going to be cleared, and they're in this space where they really just need to face reality right now. The confusion of something is going to be gone, and it's sort of like the stark reality that they're going to need to be looking at. Now, for some of you, and I just want to throw this out there, this can also indicate heart issues that may need attention to safeguard. It doesn't mean that anybody is like, in need of like a triple bypass, but there can be some sort of circulatory blood pressure, angina issue, AFib kind of thing going on. Just a little something to throw out there as a little aside. This is where I see what I see for them right now. Let me just pull a Moonology card for them. I love the World here, though, I have to tell you, because it's like recognition that they've been through a lot, either with you in relationship or just relationships in general, and they realize something, because the World is always about this realization, and it's Saturn. And when we have these realizations and we've learned lessons in Saturn gives us a very big gift. Confidence is your key. Somebody else got that. New Moon in Leo. Somebody else got that. So they need to be very confident, and you're very close to achieving your goal. I like this. I feel like there's something external to the relationship, I feel like, that they're working on in their life, and it's impacting the relationship, at least for now, at least for this first week. So that could be making you feel a certain way, but regardless, I do have to say that whether you're single, whether you're coupled, I do see things working out in a pretty good direction here. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.